Hey gang, Ron here. Welcome on back to the Cade in another episode of Playoff Edition, if you will, of Sports Saturday. We have reached the postseason in Sega Sports NFL 2K2 in our quest to establish the New England Patriots dynasty without the existence of one Thomas Edward Bartholomew Brady the Great. In our last episode, we wrapped up the postseason, and then what we had was we had the final week of the regular season, which we did not have a game in. So we went through that one, and then we went through the first round of the playoffs because we had a first round bye due to our having the best overall schedule in the league. So that's why it currently reads week 2 of 5. But this week, in order to make it to the AFC Championship game, we have to go through the Oakland, now Las Vegas Raiders, in a repeat, both a figurative and literal repeat, of one of the greatest and most controversial NFL playoff games of all time. Because in 2001, when these two teams met in the middle of a classic New England blizzard on the frozen tundra of Foxborough Stadium in Foxborough, that was the game that gave us the tuck rule. That was the game that gave us one of the great, if not the greatest, clutch kick in NFL history. And that's what got the legend of Tom Brady really, really going. But he's not here to save us in this one. It is going to be down to Drew Bledsoe and a lackluster offensive line that really let us down in the final 2 weeks of the regular season. We managed to squeak out wins against Buffalo and Miami, if you've been following along with us, but they were far from definitive.
The best teams in the league square off in the Divisional.
And we have no snow on the ground, but it is cold here in Foxborough.
Week in and week out, the one and only Peter O'Keefe.
And it will be a question of, can we hold the Raiders at bay? We have yet to play them at all this season. We had not played Oakland during the regular season, so this is our first exposure to them. And this Oakland Raider team was pretty well stacked. So we'll get the opening kick away. Decent return.
The Patriots obviously want to set the tone right from the first play.
So the Raiders, under head coach at the time, John Gruden, they went 10-6 and won the wild card. They beat the Jets 38-24 and then again lost to the Patriots here in this game 16-13. But they had Rich Gannon at quarterback, who is the quarterback here in this one. Wide receiver and Hall of Famer Tim Brown, and they of course had Hall of Famer, Heisman Trophy winner, and the guy who spurred the fumble that resulted in the tuck rule play, Michigan's own Charles Woodson.
Second down, 7 yards to go.
Ball at the 28-yard line.
And this was Gruden's final season as the head coach of the Raiders. After this game, he went on to take over. He was traded to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in exchange for Tampa's first-round draft picks in 2002, 2003, their second-round picks in 2004 and 2005, and $8 million in cash. Gruden then took over for Tony Dungy in Tampa Bay and took really Tony's team to the Super Bowl, where they faced these very same Raiders and beat them quite handily 48-21 for Tampa Bay's first World Championship.
Fourth down, 1 yard to go.
And then, of course, the history of Gruden was punctuated 16 years later when he went back to Oakland in 2018, but that meant a rather notorious end. So we'll take the punt inside our 20. And Brown doesn't get very far. He's up about the 27-yard line. So the question will be, can we have Drew Bledsoe and our offense, our lackluster offense, be able to get any sort of movement against this Raider D? If it weren't for a couple of really lucky breaks against Buffalo and Miami, we really should have lost both of those games. But Redmond gets 5 on his first carry of the day.
Second down, 5 yards to go.
Ball at the 33-yard line.
And we get backed up. So we get the first run for 5. We get pushed back for 2. And as has been the case, they're forcing us to be able to go to the air, which we're not good at. Our offensive line gives us no protection at all. So Drew's got no time to plant, no time to look downfield. And by the time I see an open receiver, there's usually at least 3 defenders that are right there to put him on his butt.
That's the encroachment call. You got to know where you are before the ball is snapped.
But the encroachment penalty helps. That moves us up 5 yards. It'll be 3rd and 2. Big hole and a big first down for our fullback, Mark Edwards. And we're closing in on midfield. And Charles Woodson, again, the Hall of Famer, with the tackle.
It was a good, clean run. Ball at the 45-yard line.
All right, so we're going to see if we can go to the air at least once here. And Johnson had it and dropped it again. We had that happen against Miami 2 weeks ago. I had Bert Emanuel all alone on a seam, and there was nothing between him and the end zone. And, dude, it went right through his hands.
2nd and 10.
I don't know how many of those sorts of opportunities we're going to get. So Redmond picks up 5 more.
5 yards to go.
Ball at the
It'll be 3rd and 5. Underneath the Brown, first down. Okay, if we can do stuff like that, that'll be helpful.
Made a great catch there, Dan. That one dropped over his shoulder, and he was able to snap it without breaking stride.
ball on the 40.
And another big hole for Redmond, and he went right upfield, and now I think we are inside the Oakland red zone.
J.R. Redmond made up some major yardage to get the first down.
You could have landed a plane through that hole.
To get the yards you need.
That's what I'm wanting to see.
Ball on the 24. Comes the blitz. It's picked up. Spirals at middle.
And knocked down.
Incomplete.
They had him bracketed.
May have been able to
Eric Allen and Troy Brown. Eric Allen was no slouch as a defensive back either.
If he had jumped and didn't have to, it may have been intercepted. Ball on the 24.
And having him and Charles Woodson together, that's a dangerous combo. I got to keep an eye on that. Short pickup of 2.
Only a couple of yards. It'll be 3rd and 1.
Go back to Brown underneath. That same inside cut. They're going to give us the middle of the field. We'll take that. That's first and goal.
Stick to that running game until their cleats wear out, Dan.
Right, Peter. They're really having a lot of success here today.
Yeah, part of that credit has to go to the offensive line. Giving them what they need.
Playoff before the end of the quarter, and he's in for the touchdown. Well, as opposed to having come down to the end of the half to get points on the board, this time we march right down the field. We're actually able to establish some form of passing, and then J.R. Redmond takes it right up the gut, and we get the first 6 of the day. I'm happy with that, for sure.
Vinatieri lines up for the point after. There's the kick. It's the end of the first quarter.
So 1 quarter in the books, and we have a 7-0 lead over the Raiders. "11 plays, 72 yards in 3 minutes, 28 seconds.
Vinatieri lines up.
That's the sort of drive I like to see.
It's off.
Good kick, taken inside the 10.
Rambo catches it.
Kenyon Rambo. That's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
Turn.
19-yard return. First down, Raiders.
If I remember right, he was a wide receiver and kick returner from the Ohio State.
The Raiders have the ball at the 24, and that's where they'll start this.
And these Raiders actually have Jerry Rice on this squad, but he is not prime Jerry Rice. Oh, and they went backwards in a hurry. We read that play absolutely perfect.
This offense
Lawyer Malloy and Teddy Bruschi went right through there and put him down.
All right, so what you're saying is that getting your butt kicked can be a great motivational tool. Is that it?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
All at the 18-yard line. Incomplete.
That was incomplete. They were looking for James Jett on that play. Or no, they were looking for Tim Brown on that
In
one.
a hurry.
Yeah, that forced him to cough up a lame pass. He's lucky there was no defenders around. All at the 18-yard line.
Tim Brown being the last man from the University of Notre Dame to win the Heisman Trophy. He did it back, if I remember right, in 1989. That one they go to Jerry Rice, but there's a penalty on the field. Holding on Oakland, but it will be 4th and short, 4th and 9 if we decline it. So we might as well, because they're going to have to punt it anyway. And they'll bring out the Hall of Famer Shane Leckler.
Second time.
Leckler was made the NFL all-time top 100 team along with the other great Oakland punter, Ray Guy.
His tracks and makes the tackle.
The Patriots will have a fair start. That's the kind of field position they were hoping for.
The Patriots are on the field after the punt. They're up.
And I remember as a kid hearing about the fact that the Oakland Raiders took a punter in the first round and a guy named Ray Guy. But then you watch the old NFL Films footage of him punting, and then you realize, oh, that's why they took him, because he was legitimately the greatest punter of all time. Which doesn't sound like much, I grant you, but still, you need, if it's a 3-prong game with offense, defense, and special teams, and you got to punt it, you want a guy who can get the ball downfield.
On the play, let's listen into the call.
So false.
That's the call for a false
So
start.
again, our center Damian Woody cannot hold still enough
Ball at the 44-yard line.
and gets us nailed for a false start. And they were looking for that downfield for sure.
Might have come away with that one if he had jumped, Dan.
I agree that had he jumped for it, he might have been able to haul it down, but that's an easy call to make sitting up here in the booth. It's 3rd and about 13.
So 3rd and 13.
Throws middle.
And that one gets knocked down. Because the linebackers, that was a defensive lineman who was sitting all the way downfield with the secondary.
Started off looking a bit sleepy, but they seem wide awake right now.
And as soon as my guy cut going towards the middle of the field,
Costello comes in and will punt for the first time this game.
then a flotilla of guys just sit waiting there to try and pick it off.
Not a good punt.
Not a great punt. Be taken inside the 30.
30. 77.
And Allen
And makes the tackle on the return.
only gets it back to the 34.
First down, Raiders.
The Raiders had their defense forced to punt. Now let's see if their offense can score. Currently, they
So after having a great opening drive to get us on the board 7-0, our second drive was absolutely awful.
couldn't reel that on in, so it's an incomplete pass.
Charlie Garner.
Looking for Charlie Garner, the running back on that
Bring
one.
it down. It's all about ball control, Dan.
Ball at the 34-yard line. Spirals at middle. Incomplete.
That one should have been caught.
Incompletion in a row.
That time they were looking for tight end Roland Williams.
Yeah, you know, I thought
And if he had caught that, that would have been a huge chunk play.
Up as an incompletion, Peter.
Hey, you can't win them all.
Ball at the 34-yard
And a chunk play, if you don't know what that term means, it means it's a play that garners you a large chunk of yardage. We're going to get called for the penalty because I jumped the gun this time.
Let's see what it is.
David Nugent.
So it'll be 3rd and 5.
The ball as he sets at the line of scrimmage. That way he won't draw those neutral zone calls.
It's 3rd and 5.
See if we can hold him here. We run the screen, and we were all over it.
That play in the backfield. Nice job.
The Patriots have a secondary that has put the downfield into permanent lockdown.
So Leckler will come back out to punt.
Credit to the players and the coaching staff.
Yeah, you take the air attack off the table like that.
So we'll have
you've
about
got the edge
2.5 minutes to see if we can put more points on the board. We're gonna want to do something about that. Not a great punt from Leckler, but we don't get a great return out of it either. So it'll be 1st and 10 at about our 30, with 2:46 to go in the first half. We'll get the ball to start the second because we elected to kick to open the ball game. And once again, my guys can't block anything up front, so Redmond can't get moving.
9 yards to go.
It's 2nd and 9.
Make it 2nd and 9.
Wriggles out of the backfield.
Picks up the first down, and he steps out of bounds to stop the clock with 2:13 to go. But more importantly, we moved the chains on that one. We needed that.
That's a great run.
And that gives them the first down. Ball at the 42-yard line.
See if we can do something productive on this one with a pass.
Dumps it off. Incomplete.
Nope, we overthrew our man, and that was almost
Pretty low for
picked.
not making that catch.
Yeah, you missed too many sure things like that, and you're going to be finding yourself a new line of work.
Like announcing.
Ball on the 42. Pitches it. 59. Beats that play.
And Redmond had nowhere to go again.
Scrimmage.
Number 59 really shined on that play.
So that brings us to the
stopping them
2-minute
cold.
warning.
Actually, I'd give the whole defense credit, Peter. They all did what they were supposed to, which left room for him to strike. We've reached the 2-minute warning. The Patriots currently enjoying a slight advantage, but it's anybody's game. 7.
So we need to convert through the air here on 3rd and 10.
Barely gets it off.
And incomplete, looking for Rutledge. And Bledsoe only 2 for 8, 25 yards. That has been his season in a nutshell. If we cannot get the super rare home run ball,
Costello.
like we did against Miami last week, then he just cannot seem to find any receivers downfield to warrant a consistent passing attack.
Nice punt. Dunn catches it. He'll make the tackle on the return.
The Raiders better get
All right, so the
something
Raiders will
going.
take over their
They
25-yard
need to
line
make
with
some changes,
1:47 to go
anything
in the
to get
half.
Their offense producing at this point.
The Raiders had their defense forced to punt. Now let's see if their offense can score. Currently, they trail 7-0.
The I formation on 1st down.
Throws right. Caught at the 38.
And they find Rice 1st down, but there's going to be a penalty. We'll see who it's on. What? There was nobody around him by the time he threw it. That was a roughing the passer. So they're going to tack 15 yards onto the end of the
When he threw
reception.
that late hit, this league is so protective of QBs that the roughing the passer penalties is always called.
Ball on the 40.
I had nobody around him by the time that ball got let go. How was that roughing the passer? Well, that was almost picked off.
Pass is off the mark.
They were looking for Williams again, but there's 4 guys on him.
Rich Gannon really took a chance with that throw. There were 2 guys out there who might have picked it off.
He obviously thought that, he can thread a needle and get to his receiver. But I'll tell you, that is a big risk.
A risk he didn't need to
Ace
take.
backfield.
Pitches. Room on the right side. Johnson makes the hit
And Johnson has got him close to a 1st down.
and stop the clock. Third and less than a yard.
The 3rd and inches.
Pitches it. Has a seam.
And Wheatley finds the seam, and he's got a chance as he's going downfield. And he'll take it all the way to the end zone. Touchdown, Oakland.
Tyrone Wheatley won the foot race there, beating the opposition into the end
On
zone.
3rd and inches, we meet jumbo package with jumbo package, and none of my guys can get to Tyrone Wheatley. He hurdles my defensive backs, and by the time everybody else gets within range, he is already in for 6. That could not have gone any worse.
Janikowski will line up for the point after.
As Janikowski comes on for the point after. So we're back to all square at 7-7 with 1:20 to go in the 1st half. And as I was hoping to take a 2-score lead into the locker room, the 50-yard run by Tyrone Wheatley completely blew that out of the water. And again, my offense is not being able to produce anything consistent enough where I can start moving the ball downfield again.
Fields it in the end zone. Stops the return man in his tracks and makes the tackle.
So we first and 10 at our 20.
Off life support here. A couple first downs would go a long way to that end.
The Patriots will start out at the 20.
Looking for a manual, and that knocked incomplete because, of course, it was. Because we got flushed out of the pocket with another guy who came through the line and was on a beat to sack Drew. And we hit the line, and of course we can't break through and get past the defenders again. So 3rd and 9 as we only pick up 1 frickin' yard.
Clock is at 55. Throws middle.
We find Johnson, first down.
The Patriots.
We use our first of 3 timeouts here as we're close to midfield.
On the clock.
We find Troy Brown, first down. Use our second timeout, as now we're in Oakland territory. So we have 35 seconds to go in the half.
Spirals it left on sideline.
And I was trying to get Johnson to stay in bounds, or get out of bounds, and he didn't.
I've really got to be happy with their passing game today, Dan. It's all about total coordination.
Oh, I agree, Peter. You know, you can point to individual players making strong individual efforts, but come on, it's the team playing as a unit that's getting this done.
All right, we'll call a timeout here with 10 seconds to go, so we can get 1 play off before we consider going with a field goal. So if we go incomplete,
on the game clock.
we'll at least have enough time to kick it. Goes to Johnson, touchdown! Whoo, what a response did we get right there. We got lucky that Woody wasn't called for false start again, as he was trying to snap it twice early. So now with 6 seconds to go in the half, we can kick the point after. And barring the highly improbable, we'll go to the locker room up 14-7 and then get the ball back to start the second half. All right, so now I'm going to get a good kickoff. So we go 7 plays and 80 yards in a minute 8, punctuated by that 16-yard hookup with Johnson.
Lines up for the kickoff. The kick is up.
So we take it inside the 15.
Makes the tackle on the return.
The Raiders
So we'll have 3
why their
seconds.
offense isn't working and fix it fast.
Seconds left.
So they can either try and go for another home run ball, or they can just run it and go to the locker room. And this time we got Wheatley at the line of scrimmage. And it's 14-7 at the break. that we've had 95 yards passing, 8 first downs, and we only lead by 7. Had we not given up that run to Wheatley for the touchdown, I'm feeling a hell of a lot better than I do at the moment. So this will be taken at the 3. And Falk just barely gets past the 20 to the 22. That's where we'll take over on downs.
Move the football on the ground. They should continue with that game plan.
It's 1st and 10.
Short field offense, march it in.
All right, that'll be moving up 5 yards as Oakland jumped the line. That makes life a little bit easier.
Offsides. Those guys are so ready to rumble. Sometimes their reflexes can get the best of them.
Ball on the 27.
So now it's 1st and 5. And of course, we still can't get anything moving.
The line of scrimmage. Gain of 1.
4 yards to go.
Ball at the 28-yard line.
I had to cut back because we already had people on the strong side of the line. And we get the first down there, barely, after a pickup of 6.
J.R. Redmond got a little extra boost to the first down mark by jumping over his man.
He would have been short otherwise, so that was definitely a chance worth taking. Made them move the chains. Ball on the 34.
So now we just really want to chew up some time on this drive. And that's not going to help as we barely pick up a yard again.
The line of scrimmage.
Second down,
Gain of 1.
9 yards to go.
Who is that on the line that I'm seeing? That's Darrell Russell, who missed most of the season, was suspended.
Ball at the 35-yard line.
He's 2nd and 9. Got that one off, and Emmanuel caught it. That was almost picked and almost a sack.
Bledsoe didn't lose his cool when he saw the Wolves attacking. He moved fast and beat the blitz.
Ball on the 46.
They're not giving us much time to get the ball off now, which I'm not surprised considering how well we did in the first half.
Escapes out of the backfield.
And Redmond bolts ahead and is close to a first down, picked up 8.
Second down, 2 yards to go.
It's 2nd and 2.
Let's take some yards, let's play. Pick him up, motion.
Send the tight end in motion.
Pitches it. Makes the tackle.
And a foot race to the sideline with that frickin' linebacker.
Short coming up.
3rd down, 1 yard to go.
Ball at the 45-yard line.
He came off that edge, and there was, again, nobody there to stop him. So Edwards bowls ahead and gets the first down.
Here's the 3rd and short.
Send the bull through the china shop at that stage, because why not?
The yards he needed to convert.
They know they can count on him to make those crucial conversions. Nothing flashy, just good football. Ball
So close it on 2 minutes to go in this third quarter.
spirals it middle.
We find Brown, and it'll be close to a first down. He's right on the line. I think it's the first time. I don't know how long it's been since Bledsoe has had over 100 yards passing, let alone being anywhere near 200. I don't think we're going to get him to 200 in this game. And at no point in this entire season have we got him in the ballpark of 300.
It's upfield.
And Redmond with a big push down inside the red zone.
The first down.
The Patriots have had a banner game when it comes to the run. They seem to always find a way through.
First and 10.
They go to Emmanuel, and he's close to a first down.
The quarterback has delivered some great passes to his receivers, and here are the numbers to prove it.
We're knocking on the doors. We're at the 6-yard line, and it's 2nd and 1. We may end up using the entire amount of this third quarter. And Redmond is in for his 2nd touchdown of the ball game.
Redmond powers ahead for the joy of 6 on that play. That's solid, no frills.
2nd score of the day.
I like that. The joy of 6.
Or the point after, that will give us a 2-score advantage. And Oakland will only have less than a minute to go here in this fourth quarter, or in the third quarter, rather. So we put 21 on the board for the first time since week 14. $11 plays, 78 yards in 4 minutes and 9 seconds. That's exactly what we needed. That's a drive that the old tuna Bill Parcells would have been happy with. Eat as much clock as you can. And now Oakland's going to have to go a long way to score, and then they're going to need another one to tie it up. And as long as I don't give it to them, then hopefully we're okay. Incomplete, looking for Williams. And he had that right in his hands.
I know that's real frustrating when you tip a pass like that, but he's got to make those.
He does. And having dealt with that throughout the last couple of weeks, I can empathize. And look, almost, if he picked that off, that would have been 6.
That one got away from him. Man, I bet he'll be thinking of that incompletion when he goes to sleep tonight.
3rd and 10.
So 3rd and 10. If we can force them to punt here and then score in the 4th, that will completely lock this game down. And incomplete that time as Buckley was on top of Rice. And they're going to have to punt it again.
Some great field position here, Dan.
Yeah, they're probably going to punt it away, and that is going to hurt.
And Leckler's going to have to boom this one. Otherwise, we should have pretty decent field position. But boom it he did. But it's taken just inside our 40. So we have 23 seconds to go in the quarter. We've had it for most of the third.
The special teams gave them decent field position.
The Patriots are on the field after the punt. They're up 21-7.
And a big first down pickup that puts J.R. Redmond over 100 yards. And that will likely be the final play of the third quarter, unless we can get this one off really fast. And we did. Picks up 3 more. But we go to the 4th, and it's a 2-score lead here in the AFC Divisional Playoff round. 21-7, the Patriots over the Raiders. It'll be 2nd and 7. And they go to Brown with a diving catch, first down. I might as well take advantage of those curls while I got them. If it means we can move the chains and keep the clock running. And now close to another first down. I think the Raiders at this point might be conceding defeat. Which old Al Davis would not be thrilled to be watching. We got another first down.
Tremendous effectiveness in the red zone. Once they get this close, it's very difficult for anybody to keep these guys out of the end zone.
Bledsoe from shotgun. Nearly gets it off.
And we go to Brown, and it's down inside the red zone near the 5. Now they'll mark it at the 7.
Ball at the 8-yard line.
And we get a little bit closer to the first down, but not quite there yet.
Past the line of scrimmage. That will bring up third and about a foot. Ball at the 7.
So we're knocking on the door. I want the touchdown. But if we have to settle for a field goal, I suppose I can take it, but 25 carries, 125 yards for J.R. Redmond today. We're taking a lot of tread off the tires. We might as well. We have nothing to lose at this point.
Ball on the 6.
And he'll walk it in for his third score of the afternoon, and that should do it.
For the touchdown.
He was close enough.
That is, in the language of my people, the backbreaker.
6-6, no matter how easy you make it look.
As nobody touched him as he walked that one in. So Vinatieri will come on for the point after, so we will not have a tuck rule situation. We will not have a highly controversial official review. And Adam will not have to kick a knuckleball in a 45-yard knuckleball in a driving blizzard.
It's away.
But with that, barring the highly improbable to occur in the next 2 minutes and 49 seconds of game time, we are moving on to the AFC Championship game quite decisively. And surprisingly decisively, I gotta say. As Vinatieri booms this kick, and that should be down for a touchback.
In the end zone. The Raiders will start
Be
out.
first and 10 at the 20-yard line with 2:48 to go in the ball game. And Wheatley on the ground. It's his first yardage of the half.
Second down, 5 yards to go.
Ball at the 25-yard line.
So it looks like they may not be going through the air much either. And this time, Richard Seymour, the Hall of Famer, was right there. Now, Seymour would go on to play for the Raiders on the back half of his career, and that helped punch his Hall of Fame ticket. And I have to admit, that was one of the worst decisions that the Patriots made in letting him go rather than giving him a contract.
We've reached the 2-minute warning.
And that puts us at the 2-minute warning.
Big lead. 28-7.
So it's 3rd and 7. They're running out of the I formation, but I would think they would go to the air on this play. No, they don't.
The stop in the backfield, and that's the second in a row.
And Seymour again stopped him.
Plays there.
You know, Dan, with the clock winding down, their backs are against the wall. They've got to go for it.
It would
Nope,
be
they're
an
gonna go ahead and punt it.
incredible comeback if they could close the gap. They've got to convert here, and they've got
So the
to
Raiders have conceded.
Comes in to punt after a 3-and-out.
And Al Davis would be spitting in his grave if he saw that happen.
30, 45.
Decent return for Brown up near midfield with about 90 seconds to go, and the Raiders will have their timeouts. So really what I want to do is I want to be able to move the ball downfield. And make them use those timeouts to keep the clock running.
8-7.
And he goes to Johnson, first down.
They brought on the blitz, Dan, but it was no match for this tough, talented offensive line.
But if they're not going to use their timeouts, then fine. I will let the clock run, and I will just keep on matriculating it, as that will move us up 5 yards. Thanks to another offsides penalty, but that stops the clock.
Tony Bryant draws the offsides call. That ref doesn't miss a trick.
12 seconds on the clock.
3 penalties for 15 yards for Oakland. Surprisingly low for them. Redmond with a seam. Can he get in the end zone? No, he's knocked out of bounds inside the 5. But a huge pickup for J.R. Redmond. And it was Eric Allen who saved that one from becoming 6 points. But we're 4 for 4 in the red zone. I don't remember when we were this efficient on our offensive side of the ball in a while. We're trying to go to Edwards to see if he can muscle it in. Not yet.
Hasn't played as a unit. It's just a bunch of individuals. That's just not going to work in a team game like the NFL.
But that keeps the clock running. And Redmond, not quite. We're still knocking on the door here.
Will be 3rd and short. 32 seconds left.
And we might as well be in 4-down territory anyway. We're on the 3-yard line. And we don't need it as he gets in for his 3rd touchdown of the day. Check that, 4th touchdown of the day. And now it's just window dressing. We've got 35 on the board. We've only had 35 points one time the entire season, as I recall.
There's the kick.
So 5 plays and 52 yards in 1 minute 9 seconds, capped by the 2-yard scamper from Redmond. With 21 seconds left, all that's really left
And we're ready for the kickoff. It's away.
is who's going to clean up the woodshed we took the Raiders behind in this ballgame.
Takes the stop on the return.
The Raiders would definitely like to score here. There's not enough time left for mistakes.
17 seconds to go.
So 17 seconds on the clock, and if they let it run, then I'm just going to go ahead and let the clock run out. I don't think they're going to throw it. Or they are going to throw it.
Barely gets it off.
And incomplete.
More effective they are stopping the pass. Credit's got to go to the DBs who are playing some of the best football they've ever played.
13 seconds left.
So split backfield. Rice in motion.
Incomplete.
They were looking for him, and Shaw drilled him to knock the ball free. So now 10 seconds on the
Really
clock.
feeling the heat on that one, Dan. I think that affected the pass.
Oh, without a doubt, Peter, they were gunning for it.
You know, he must have felt like he was the last tray in the buffet, and I had just gotten off work.
Ooh, boy,
I'm surprised that the Raiders just aren't running the ball and letting the clock run out.
It's picked up. It's got sideline. Oh, my, what a play on third.
And they got it to Rice, but that will end the ball game as we crush Oakland 35-7 and move on to the AFC Championship game. Well, I feel a lot happier about how this game went for sure, and not even just because we won. Obviously, that's what you want, but it was how we won. So we take the AFC East Division to the surprise of nobody. And it will be New England versus Baltimore for the right to go to the Super Bowl and face either the Saints or the Rams. So the Saints edged out the Niners 14-13, and the Rams took down the Giants 31-22. So that is where we will leave it here, and that, everybody, is Sports Saturday for this week. We have got 2 games left potentially, separating us from our first World Championship, our first Lombardi in the case, and then deciding how to go from there. But let's not put the cart before the horse, shall we? We got to get through Baltimore next week and then see who we're going to face potentially in the Super Bowl. If you're enjoying the content on the channel, you know how to show it. Be sure to follow us on social media through Instagram and Threads at Ronan's Retrocade. Help spread the word about us as we continue to build this channel and make it bigger and better. My name is Ronan. It's been great to spend this Sports Saturday with you. Be safe, be well, happy gaming. We'll talk to you tomorrow for Sucker Punch Sunday, and then be sure to come back next week as we decide who's going to play in the Super Bowl. Bye.